What is the absolute fastest, yeah, we are definitely not gonna be friends moment you've ever experienced with someone? What's that one single moment where you knew a friendship was over? I'm not talking about the slow fade or the gentle drifting apart. I'm talking about that lightning bolt moment where a switch just flips in your head and you think, yeah, we're done. Today, we're exploring some of Reddit's fastest and most brutal "we are not friends" moments, where people are sharing their ultimate friendship-ending deal breakers. These stories are wild, infuriating, and honestly, some are just really sad. This first one is a real piece of work, and it's a classic story of being used and then tossed aside. It's titled, "My friend asked me to help her move for 8 hours, then ghosted me when it was my turn." Oh, I can just feel the rage building. This is going to be messy. Let's get into it. The original poster, You Dr. Honey, keeps it short and painful. They wrote, "Wife and I had recently moved to a new city. We helped one of her work colleagues and spouse move. I think it was most of a Saturday, like 8 a.m., 4 p.m. Load the truck, follow the truck, unload the truck. They said thanks and we left. They then had a housewarming party where they invited family and other work friends, but not us. We were the only people that helped them move, not their family, not the other work friends, just us." Okay, just pause right there. 8 hours. That is a full-time, back-breaking workday. Loading, unloading, moving is one of the worst things on earth to do, and these people, who are new to a city, give up their entire Saturday to help. And they were the only ones. Not the family who were presumably at the party, not the other friends who were also invited. Just them. The audacity is just staggering. You don't get to use people as your personal moving crew and then decide they're not cool enough for the party. That's not how friendship works. It's not even how basic human decency works. The comments on this one were a mix of pure rage and sadly similar stories. One user, Ice Seeker, got right to the point. They don't really see them as friends, but as fodder they can use. And that's exactly what it is. You're not a person, you're a tool. You're the moving friend, not the party friend. Another user, Thrown Away Feelsies, had a really sharp take. Some people only call the friends they don't care about abusing to help them move. They don't call the ones they care about because they don't want to bother anyone. Wow, that's so twisted, but when you think about it, it makes a scary amount of sense. They value their real friends too much to ask for help, but have no problem exploiting the people they see as disposable. But this one from ucorey307 is just heartbreaking. Experienced the exact same situation, but with family. Helped my cousin move her things into her first apartment after college. I was doing the work of 2 men. Boyfriend and his rich parents show up at the end, and the 4 of them go off to fancy dinner. I wasn't invited. Didn't even get a slice of pizza or a beer. 2 months ago, they were having their second baby and my mom told me to buy them a $300 car seat off their wish list. I was the only one that didn't get a thank you card. Are you kidding me? A $300 car seat after being treated like hired help and not even getting a thank you. That's not a friend. That's not family. That is just a straight-up user. As one reply put it, cut them out of your life. A day's work and $300 is worth that knowledge. Exactly. It's an expensive lesson, but it's crystal clear. This is the kind of betrayal that stings so badly because it's not just about missing a party. It's about being shown in no uncertain terms that your time, your effort, and your kindness mean nothing. They didn't just forget an invitation. They made a statement that you weren't a peer, you were just the help. It's a social slap in the face, and it's an absolute friendship killer. What would you do? Would you confront them, or just let the silence send the message? Let me know in the comments. Alright, if your blood is already boiling, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more of these insane Reddit stories. We've got more coming right up. Alright, let's jump to the next story. This one isn't about physical labor, but it's about that emotional support you expect from a friend, and what happens when you're left completely alone when you need it most. A user on r/askwomen shared the moment she knew her friendship was done. It's short, but it lands hard. She wrote, "When I texted my best friend that I was having a mental emotional crisis and didn't get a response for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 14 days. In the middle of a crisis, she reaches out to her best friend and gets absolute silence. That silence is deafening, isn't it? You reach out to your person, the one you think will be there for you no matter what, and you're met with a void. That isn't just an oversight, it's a choice. To see a message like that, to know your friend is in pain, and to just do nothing for 2 weeks is a friendship-ending move. And the replies just proved how painfully common this is. One user, Hannah8, shared a story that takes it to a whole other level. Same thing happened to me with my best friend. I confronted her about it and forgave her, as I've always known her to be self-absorbed. But the next day my mum died unexpectedly, and she said she couldn't be here for me because she couldn't afford it. Yet I saw on Facebook the next 2 weeks she had flew around Europe and the US. I just have no words. Your mom dies, and your best friend claims she's too broke to be there, but then immediately jets off on an international vacation? That's beyond self-absorbed. It's a complete failure of empathy. It's a level of selfishness that's genuinely hard to wrap your head around. The friendship isn't just over. It feels like it was never real. You were a placeholder, a shoulder for her to lean on until something more interesting came along. It's moments like these that show you exactly who people are. Another user replied, "She tried to reconnect years later, but when we tried, I didn't feel like she was someone I wanted in my life after I met amazing new friends that are supportive and positive." And that really is the silver lining, isn't it? Losing a toxic friend, no matter how much it hurts, makes room for people who will actually show up for you. It's a painful way to learn, but realizing you deserve friends who answer your crisis texts and show up when your world falls apart is an incredibly powerful lesson. It's the ultimate proof that you were right to walk away. Okay, for our last story, we've got a situation where the friendship didn't just end, it blew up in a spectacular display of disrespect and betrayal. This one comes from a thread about the worst thing a best friend has ever done, and it's a doozy. A user shared this story. "My friend would encourage me to break up with my baby mama because she was very toxic and abusive. When I finally did, he slipped into her DMs and tried to meet up. He was my best friend of 12 years, lol. 12 years. A 12-year friendship, torpedoed by a single DM slide. Let's just unpack this. Your supposed best friend is giving you advice, supporting you as you leave a toxic relationship, but the whole time, he's just waiting for his shot. He wasn't helping you. He was positioning himself. He wasn't being a friend. He was acting like a predator. The hypocrisy is what really gets me. For months, maybe even years, he's telling you, 'Man, you deserve better. She's no good for you.' All while thinking, 'But she might be good for me.' He watched you go through misery, and his first thought when you finally got free wasn't relief for his friend, it was, 'My turn.' That's not a friend. That's a snake." The comments section was just full of people who were completely floored by the backstabbing. There is no coming back from something like that. You can never trust that person's advice or motives again. Every nice thing they ever did is suddenly thrown into question. Was any of it genuine, or was it all just part of some long con manipulation? This story reminds me of another one, where a user found out his friend group was constantly complaining about him behind his back. He was always the one planning everything, bringing the supplies, doing the grunt work for the group. Then one day he overheard them trash-talking him and realized he wasn't a friend to them. He was just their party planner. He stopped calling, and not a single person from that group ever reached out again. Both stories share the same rotten core, realizing the role you thought you had in someone's life was a complete lie. You thought you were a best friend, a valued member of the group, but in reality, you were just a stepping stone or a convenience. It's a brutal, instantaneous realization. The friendship doesn't fade away, it shatters, and there's absolutely no picking up those pieces. From being used as free labor, to being ghosted in a crisis, to being betrayed by the person you trusted most, these stories are textbook examples of friendship deal breakers. They're painful reminders that sometimes the people we think are on our team are really just playing their own game. But the flip side is that every time one of these toxic friendships ends, it opens the door for real, genuine connections with people who will actually see your worth. So what about you? What's the fastest "we are not friends" moment you've ever had? Share your stories down in the comments. I'd love to read them. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.